someone was asking where this tube went to right here that comes off the Thermac system. And this is the crankcase ventilation tube that hooks onto this crankcase ventilation nipple right here that comes off the passenger side valve cover. And this is where the blow-by gases are filtered back into the Thermac system to be burned off in normal operation. So yeah, that's a pretty important tube. That's a crankcase ventilation tube that hooks into this crankcase ventilation filter that goes on the bottom of the passenger side snorkel, and it has to be sealed correctly because the entire Thermac system works on a vacuum, and the vacuum comes off the rear throttle body nipple right here. That's where the system gets its vacuum from. This is the driver's side valve cover. This is your positive crankcase ventilation valve right here. On the passenger side, you've got the crankcase ventilation filter right here, EGR valve, crankcase CCV filter. This grommet right here is kind of important. I'll show you what happened to mine, what mine was like. This is just the hose that goes on there. It just goes on there like this. This is the hose that goes on. It goes on there like this, and then connects into the base of the Thermac. But the grommet should be soft pliable rubber like this. This is the one that came off of this car, cracked in a lot of different pieces. So if you change out the filter, you need to change out the grommet too. This is the positive crankcase ventilation system, how the air is circulated, fresh air coming into the snorkels. On the breather, it's circulated around through the crankcase and PCV valve, and this over here is the crankcase ventilation hose, and then the filter, crankcase ventilation filter, is right here. Yeah, but the whole system gets fresh air through these snorkels here, and gets fresh air through these snorkels. And then once the air gets inside the system, and starts circulating through the manifold and down in the crankcase, it's going to get you're going to have some blow by. And the air then is going to get little droplets of oil in it. That's where this filter right here, it comes off this passenger side valve cover. Air goes back through here, comes up through this filter right here, and then is reintroduced into the system. This filter right here is going to pick up a lot of oil in time, particularly on an older engine. So this filter needs to operate correctly, and needs to be cleaned up and make sure that it's sealed properly. On the passenger side, coming out of the passenger side valve cover, you've got a crankcase ventilation filter right here. This basically sits down in here like this. And then you get a hose that comes off here and goes down into the valve cover. This needs to seal in order to create the vacuum that you need to circulate the oil droplets that are in the air through this little filter in here. According to the factory service manual, this should be changed every 30,000 miles. This is an AC Delco FB93. So I'm guessing this is the original one that was never changed. It's pretty dirty down in there. But if this is clogged, this could cause some oil, some smoking. So be careful about this. Once you get your crankcase ventilation filter set down in there, clips in with a clip. You have to reach down inside the snorkel. You have to reach down inside the snorkel from the inside of the base, breather base, and then this clip just slides on there like this to hold it in place. Yeah, but this needs to be clean. If this gets oily and dirty and clogged up, the positive crankcase ventilation system is not going to function properly. You just have some smoking going on. Once you get your new filter in there, you take this clip, just reach down there and slide that on there, clip it into place. Try to remember which way it goes, like this. Just slide that in there and lock it down. A plug valve or a hose could cause rough idle, stalling, oil leaks, oil in the air cleaner, sludge, rough idle, stalling. This is a sealed crankcase ventilation system. It works off of vacuum. So when the car is idling, you're going to have a lot of vacuum, and that's when these snorkel doors and everything need to be working. We're going to have some idle issues. Yeah, these are the snorkels and the vacuum doors. This is the Thermac base plate base. These are the vacuum motors. This is on the passenger side. These damper doors on these snorkels operate off of vacuum. And this damper door on the passenger side over here never opens. It always stays closed. As soon as the car is started, this damper door closes immediately, and it won't open again until the car is at wide open throttle. And this one over here, this one on the passenger side closes as soon as the car is started, and then it begins to open when this heat IAC temperature sensor right here reaches about 160, 180 degrees inside the breather here. But if you just want to see if your vacuum doors are functioning, you can just take a simple vacuum gauge and just pump it up a little bit and watch these doors. Again, this is the passenger side. Just plump it up, maybe 5 pounds of vacuum, and it should close up. See, it's the system's not on the car, so it's not going to hold the vacuum very well. Yeah, I just hooked this vacuum gauge up to this is the throttle body vacuum hose that goes to the rear of the rear throttle body. But yeah, just hook your line up in there and just see if the vacuum actuates these motors. Again, this is the passenger side. Don't pump a lot of vacuum into these things. You could damage your vacuum motors. So just, you know, just a little bit of, pump it up just enough to see the doors open and close with the vacuum motors. Make sure they're working and everything's sealed good. This is the driver's side. As soon as you crank the car on the Thermac, this door will close instantly. Again, it'll close instantly, and then it'll open up based on the temperature inside the Thermac. Just run a little pressure. It closes. That's just a simple little test, you know, with a $10 vacuum gauge from Harbor Freight. You know, just to check out your motor, your vacuum motors, and your damper doors, and make sure they're closing. Yeah, this entire system right here is one of the most overlooked things on a Crossfire. This is an entirely sealed system here. So the crankcase ventilation hose serves a huge purpose for the crankcase ventilation system.